snow may have come in, but we still have matchups to melt it away. Across TVC matchup goes a little longer than usual, and a special look at where your team is in the standings. Get ready, because Hardwood Heroes starts right now. Welcome to season 14 of Hardwood Heroes. I'm your host, Shane Scalfaro, and I am beyond excited to bring you the latest in Southeast Ohio basketball. But I can't have all the fun myself, and I have the right man for the job to highlight some new content. Digital host Tim Hanna will join us every week to help bring you standings, heroes of the week, and more.
And more is right, Shane. Throughout the week, I'll be hosting our brand new online segment, The Full Court Press. We'll have special breakdowns, exclusive interviews, and more. The Full Court Press can be found on our Facebook and Twitter pages. I can't wait to dive into all the exciting action of TVC hoops. Shane, it's not quite time for conference standing yet, but I won't go too far.
While you're gone, get yourself a pair of oven mitts because the standings are hot. You may need them. Now, I know you've been waiting for some action on the court, so I won't make you wait any longer. The Federal Hawking Lancers have picked up right back where they left off last season. For that, we bring on Federal Hawking lead reporter, Gavin Carrick.
Shin, it was a long break, but it feels so good to be back talking about the Lancers once again. The 1-2 punch of the Lancers seniors Tara Cottrell and Andrew Earhart have been lighting it up on the floor once again so far this season. Both of them are averaging close to or more than 20 points a game, a handful of assists, and are proven leaders on and off the floor. But before we talk more about this year, Shane, we got to take y'all back in time and discuss more about the squad from last year.
Yeah, this team had a lot of key seniors last season. Talk about the effect that they've had on this squad.
They had such a big role to play in the magical run that the Lancers went on last year, making it all the way to play in a state regional semifinal matchup. Big-time players like Billy Ward and Kane Chapman dominated from mid-range and around the arc, while you had Scotty Balch and Adam Miller patrolling the paint and the glass.
Now, how does all of this apply over to this season?
Most will think he'll put a lot of pressure on the current group of seniors. However, them and the rest of the underclassmen are ready to take on the task.
Gavin, we have to flip the script, and we got to talk about those Lady Lancers.
Shane, these girls are so fun to watch, man. The improvement from last year compared to this year has been absolutely incredible. All that was on full display Thursday night when they welcomed Eastern into Stewart for a conference matchup. Federal Hawking did not get off to a hot start, with shots just not falling and defense being spotty in those opening minutes. Head coach Meigs Marauders called a timeout and told his team to get back to playing their ball, and this worked to perfection.
Yeah, the youth of this team is really starting to shine. How did that play into effect in this one?
Yeah, Shane, I mean, in this one in particular, Brenda Cottrell is just doing what she does on the floor. She went on to put up 21 points, leading the team in scoring. Other underclassmen this year, such as Michaela Nelson and Takira Walker, have been stepping up into those big-time roles as well.
So back to the game. What stood out to you the most?
Easily the press and the three-point shooting, I've got to say, Shane. The Lancers pressed on every single opportunity and forced turnover after turnover, leading to a fantastic transition offense and lighting it up from beyond the arc all night long. With all this, the Lancers were able to take this one by a final score of 63-23. Shane, I'm so excited to see where these late Lancers end up with so much talent in the starting five and coming off the bench as well.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. Thanks, Gavin. Now let's switch it over to a team on the other side of the standings, the Eastern Eagles. Eagles lead reporter Stephen Crowley has the latest scoop.
Thanks, Shane. After finishing 2023 with a 4-19 record, the Eagles are still struggling to spread their wings and fly in 2024. Eastern has started this season with a 2-11 record and sit last in the TVC Hawking. But let's take an in-depth look at this unfortunate start for the Eagles. Eastern did not win their first game this season until their 10th game against Point Pleasant. In their 9 straight losses, Eastern lost 6 of those games by 20 or more points. The Eagles are allowing an average of 63 points per game. Defense has definitely been a problem for Eastern. But the Eagles did not allow another long losing streak to pile up after their first win. The Eagles came away with a huge win over the Wellston Golden Rockets on Tuesday. Eastern flew to an 18-point win with the final score being 70-52. This is the first time the Eagles have broke the 70-point mark this year. On the other side of the nest, last season the Lady Eagles finished 2023 with a 16-9 overall record. The tide has certainly changed with the ladies starting 1-14 this season. Now, what has caused this drastic change? Take a look at just how youthful this team is. 8 out of 11 players on this roster are freshmen. Looking at the remaining 3 players include 1 sophomore, 1 junior, and 1 senior. With freshmen making up more than half of this roster, this is definitely a rebuilding year for the Eagles. Now you may ask, where does Eastern go from here? The Eagles displayed their youth and inexperience with a 67-30 loss to the Alexander Spartans on Monday night. Development is key from here on out. First-year head coach Jim Simpson must be preparing his young flock for the future years. Simpson may see freshmen such as Mackenzie Robertson, Olivia Simpson, and Brooklyn Barkey emerge as stars in the coming years. I also cannot let star senior point guard Hope Reed go unnoticed. Reed added an impressive 16 points on Monday night. The bottom line is that the Eagles must take moral victories as they come this season. With the amount of varsity experience these young players are obtaining, the Eagles may be special in the coming years. Shane, I'm very excited to see the Eagles develop and improve as the season presses forward.
It'll be interesting to see how the Eagles season unfolds. Thanks for the great work, Steven. The Waterford boys took on Caldwell earlier in the season, and the Wildcats won round 1. Now, we've got a rematch right back on Waterford's home court, but do we have a different result this time? We've got Waterford Wildcats lead reporter Charlie Ehlenfeld to help break it down.
It was a battle at the Coop as the Wildcats hosted Caldwell in a rematch from earlier this year. Waterford was able to lock down Caldwell for the entire first quarter. The Wildcats held Caldwell scoreless in the first frame with suffocating defense, but that would not last.
The wheels started to fall off for Waterford. What went wrong?
Injuries hurt the chances of the Wildcats down the stretch. Recently crowned points leader Jared Armstrong missed the entirety of the third quarter with injury. By the time he returned, Caldwell had climbed back into the game. With that momentum, Caldwell used a late three to escape with a 46-45 win.
So what's next for the Wildcats?
Waterford will travel to Racine to face Southern as they try to climb above 500. Wildcats will have 3 more regular season conference games as the season wraps up.
So it sounds like things didn't go as planned for the boys. How are the girls faring in the Hocking?
The Waterford girls seem primed for their 10th consecutive TVC Hawking title. The girls have been playing an unforgiving schedule, but they have been up to the task. Behind stars Kendall Surrey and Avery Wagner, the Wildcats have raced to a 13-2 record. Waterford has cruised back to the top of the conference with a 6-1 conference record. Their schedule to this point has been a gauntlet, as the Wildcats have faced TVC Hawking rivals Federal Hawking and Belpre, Division III juggernaut Waynedale, and crosstown rival Fort Fry. Looking to continue that success, Waterford hosted Parkersburg South, a team that beat them by 13 last year. It was cooking in the Cooper, and the Parkersburg South Patriots and Waterford Wildcats were prepped for a physical match. Early in the first, it was the Patriots in control, as they jumped out to a 9-3 lead behind early threes. Waterford entered the second quarter trailing 16-11. It did not take long for the Wildcats to find their groove. As Avery Wagner began to get rolling, Waterford began to impose their will on Parkersburg South. The Wildcats suffocated the Patriots defensively, limiting them to 2 points on the quarter. Waterford exited the half up 23-18. The second half saw the Wildcats pull away despite the loss of Kendall Surrey. Waterford endured the absence of their star shooting guard for the fourth and emerged with a 50-34 victory. Avery Wagner dominated in the win, totaling 25 points, 25 rebounds, and 7 blocks. The Wildcats are going to have to do their best to stay on track for the remainder of the season. In their final 5 games, the Wildcats will face the 5th-ranked Newark Catholic Green Wave, conference rivals the Federal Hawking Lancers and Belpre Golden Eagles once again, and rematch rivals down the road in the form of the Warren Warriors and Fort Fry Cadets. If Waterford can survive the backstretch of their schedule, they will be primed for a deep tournament run.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get it done down the stretch. Thanks, Charlie. We have another big rematch on the horizon, this time for the Trimble Tomcats. I'm ready to get into this one, and I know Trimble lead reporter Haley Hollinger is too.
Oh, you know it, Shane. Now, unfortunately, it's been a little snowy recently, so the Lady Tomcats rematch against the Southern Tornadoes will have to wait, but we'll dive into what happened the first time around in just a bit, because the Tomcats did get to play one game this past week against River Valley, but unfortunately, they lost 61-32. Turnovers gave Trimble a bit of trouble in that game, as they did the first time the Tomcats played Southern. The last meeting between Trimble and the Tornadoes was, well, wild to say the least. If you break down the game minute by minute, you'll find that the Tomcats averaged just over a point and a turnover a minute and a steal every minute in 30 seconds. Trimble took the victory 34-30 despite their total points and total turnovers being tied. Now, this young club has been working on ball security all season long, and I'm betting we'll see some apparent improvement when they finally get this rematch on Wednesday.
Wow, those are some pretty crazy numbers. And from what we've discussed, the boys have had some trouble, or the girls have had some trouble too.
Yeah, they have, and I know we're going to talk about Trimble's game against NY a little bit later in the show, but Shane, they had 22 turnovers in that game, which is one of the higher turnover counts they've had so far. The boys' teams have been focused on ball security for the past couple of seasons, and for the most part, they've been taking care of business. There's only 6 games where they've turned the ball over more than 10 times, and the Tomcats have lost 3 of those 6. Now, the boys have only had 11 turnovers in their 74-43 win against Miller this past Saturday. And when I talked to Coach Caldwell after the game, he said one of their goals has been to keep it under 12 turnovers each game, which obviously they were able to do against the Falcons.
Yeah, and earlier you were telling me that the Tomcats were able to play some of the younger guys in this one.
Oh yeah, they got those young guys in rotation early and often, and if you ask me, they can hang with the big cats. But seriously, it's good to know you have that fresh pair of legs on the bench if you were to need them. A deep bench will be crucial for the Tomcats for upcoming conference play as well as playoffs.
So what else can Trimble do to prepare for some of these big matchups ahead?
Pressure. They need to take it, and they also need to dish it. They weren't able to take it too well when the Falcons hit them with a 2-3 defense coming out of half. Now, Coach Caldwell was able to call a timeout and kind of get them to recoup, but you're not always going to have that kind of time to give. On the defensive end, their whole goal was to keep them to 43 points, but 20 points, but they allowed 43.
We told our players at the shoot around today what we wanted to do. We wanted to hold them to the 20s because we run. We're going to get points up. I was disappointed on how we only outscored them in the second half, 29-23.
And if the Cats keep listening to Coach Caldwell and working hard, they may be able to claw their way back to the top of the Hocking race.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to do it again. Thanks for the great work, Haley. Both Trimble versus Southern games got canceled this week, but where does that leave them in the standings? Tim is back with all the answers.
Well, Shane, you and Haley both talked about it, but weather cancellations have really left the TVC Hawking largely unchanged from last week. Waterford and Federal Hawking are tied at the top of the conference at 6-1. After a hot start to this season, the Belpre Golden Eagles have really stumbled a little bit down the stretch. They sit in third at 4-2. Trimble is in 4th place, and Southern sits in 5th with their loss to Waterford on Thursday. And finally, the Eastern Eagles sit in 6th, still looking for their first conference win. For the boys, things are just as tight at the top. Belpre owns a 1-game lead over Federal Hawking. Belpre took Game 1 of the season series back in December, and the Lancers look to get even this Friday. Trimble is in 3rd at 3-2, and Waterford right behind them at 2-3. Rounding out the bottom of the standings is Southern and Eastern. Southern did get their first conference win over Eastern just over a week ago.
Our first matchup in the Ohio gave the Meigs Marauders a chance for their first conference win. To see if they stole that away, we bring on Meigs lead reporter Lucy Schaefer.
After starting the season with a 1-6 record, the Lady Marauders have rebounded, going 4-4 since. And this week, Wellston would be their test of consistency, and they would ace the class, topping the Golden Rockets 66-60. Now, both teams are evenly matched, but there was one clear area where the Golden Rockets took the lead, and that was height. The Wellston defense was fierce, but that small size proved to be a small problem for the Lady Marauders. Their aggressive play style kept them one step ahead of the Golden Rockets the entire game. And one name stood out in specific. Junior Keegan Wolf scored 24 points and was near flawless from beyond the arc. She also told us post-game that once she knows she's hot from the start, she just keeps shooting. And on Thursday, this worked out for her and for her entire team. Seniors Delana Wright and Andrea Marr also contributed to the fire this team lit on the court. If the Lady Marauders have anything, they have heart. With a new confidence, we'll see if Meigs can play spoiler the rest of the way. Next week, they'll have the chance to add 2 more wins to their in-conference record with River Valley on Monday and Nelsonville York on Thursday.
Pivoting to the boys, Meigs was set to host Vinton County in one of the most important games of the season, but Mother Nature claimed this one as well. Vinton County reporter Grant Kiefer joins Lucy to preview this massive TVC Ohio bout, rescheduled for February 13th.
Yeah, guys, while this game already held huge implications, this game becomes even more important with its new date.
And it's just as exciting because this now long-awaited rematch will give these teams a test right before the playoffs. Now, Meigs has been on a 9-game win streak since December 12th, but just a few days before, they lost to the same Vinton County team 70-60.
The Vikings have picked up where they left off from their 7-0 start before dropping back-to-back games against Chillicothe and South Webster, winning 3 in a row since. No doubt about it, both these teams are hot right now, Lucy.
Which to Marauder fans was a pleasant surprise since star forward Braylon Harrison went down with an injury back in early December, coincidentally in MacArthur. While Harrison continues to support the team, Meigs still has plenty of ammo in several returners such as Conley Burnham and Caden Geen, as well as newcomer Reed Brinegar. Now, Grant, who does this team have to watch out for when February 13th rolls around?
Look, he'll tell you he's not primarily a shooter, but Garrett Brown is a shooter. He's been lighting it up from beyond the arc this season and dropped 33 points in a game against Zane Trace. Along with that, the senior guard just notched his 1,000th career point last week against New Hope. Lucy, this guy's must watch when he's on the floor.
Now, taking a direct look at the matchup itself, it's more than clear to see why we and all of the Tri-Valley Conference faithful are waiting for this game. And Grant, currently these teams are first and second in the conference, and it doesn't look like they're stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, there's no end in sight as these two teams have plowed through the TVC like it's nothing. Playoff seeds will be out by the time this one tips off, but Meigs and VC could still have everything on the line.
Grant, I'm counting down the days until February 13th, but in the meantime, the Lady Vikings were in action on Monday.
Indeed they were, but unfortunately VC was unable to string together a third win down in Rock Hill. It was a tough night, especially on the defensive end, as despite playing one of its best halves all year in the second, VC went back to the loss column, dropping this one by a final score of 52-41.
Yeah, the Lady Vikings seemed a little sluggish in the first half. What went wrong?
Well, they couldn't get anything to fall during the first half, really. VC came out of that game hot and led early on, but Rock Hill controlled the game down low and VC just couldn't compete in the paint. The Vikings dug themselves in a hole, especially in the second quarter, as Vinton County made just one field goal to go into the half, down 27-13.
That second half, though, was something to behold. What did they do to flip the switch?
You know, I'd say they shot the ball a lot better. They were getting their looks from three all game, but really just knocked down more of those in the second half to fight back. Tough loss for a team needing wins in the worst way, but Shane, VC had a nice finish in this one. They're going to fight until the end, as always.
Yeah, you can't question their effort there, that's for sure. Thanks for the insight, Grant. The Athens Lady Bulldogs are a fearsome team with a ton of bite that's looking to make a run at a title. Athens lead reporters Zach Knight and Caleb McCluskey, let's talk some Bulldogs basketball.
Fearsome is a great way to define this team, Shane.
Yeah, in their last matchup against the River Valley Raiders, the Lady Bulldogs pulled off a commanding 33-point victory.
But this time, Zach, the sequel wasn't quite as good as the original. There was a battle in Bidwell Thursday night as the Lady Bulldogs tried to keep their 5-game win streak alive and hang on to their 2-win cushion over the rest of the TVC.
The Lady Bulldogs were without junior Asa Holcomb on Thursday, and they had to look to other players to make contributions against River Valley. The team struggled against the Raider defense, who locked them down with a full-court press. The Lady Bulldogs had to play faster, leading to 12 turnovers as a team. With these struggles, the girls fell to River Valley, finishing the game with a final score of 47-43. Caleb, who helped keep it within reach?
Well, Zach, several players come to mind. First, sophomore guard Ella Chapman. She had 19 points for the entire game, and folks, look at that stat line at the bottom of your screen. That is not normal. Chapman had many clutch buckets down the stretch of this game to keep the Bulldogs within striking distance of possibly taking that lead. But next is starting center Alexis Copel, who had 11 rebounds for the game, and that definitely helped them out, and definitely. Last but not least is Olivia Smart, who had 9 points for this game. And even though Smart and Chapman fouled out of this ball game, I can definitely say that each one of these players let it all out on the floor Thursday night. At the end of the game, we spoke with head coach Phil Koska, and he was very impressed with the determination he saw from Athens as they face off against Nelsonville York Monday.
Yeah, while there's still plenty to talk about when it comes to these Lady Bulldogs, now let's take a look at the boys team.
The boys team didn't play this week, but with their upcoming matchup against the Meigs Marauders, they have a chance at redemption.
Last time the Bulldogs showed up in Pomeroy, they fell short by just 10 points. The Bulldogs were unable to match the firepower of the Marauders, and as the game went on, the production from Meigs improved while Athens stuck to a consistent pace. Players like Easton Nuzum helped keep the Bulldogs within reach, leading the team with 18 points of his own, and a performance like this from another one of the Bulldogs could be instrumental on Tuesday when they face off again.
Zach, you could say the Bulldogs have a bone to pick with the Marauders. This game could go either way, and with the win against Meigs, the Bulldogs could move to that 3rd seed in the TVC.
Yeah, the Bulldogs will need to bring their A game to this matchup if they want to move up in the TVC rankings.
That rematch can't come soon enough. Zach, Caleb, thanks for the great work, guys. The Alexander Spartans teams have seen complete switches with each other. The boys have hit a rebuild year, while the Lady Spartans have absolutely sprinted to the top of the mountain. Spartans lead reporter Maddie Kiefer is here to kick it off on the boys' side.
Well, unfortunately, Shane, we didn't get a chance to see the Spartans grab their first win this week, but there's still a lot to talk about. The post-Kyler DiAgostino era has begun in Albany. So far, the Spartans are 0-14, a big fall from the past 4 years where the Spartans win a combined 51-37. That being said, Alexander and their community still rally to the alley to support their Spartans.
Besides the departure of a former Hardwood Player of the Year, what else is going on for the Spartans?
Shane, there's a lot of change in Alexander's lineup. All of the Spartan starters from last season graduated. Juniors Claxton Hawk and Mason Morris are the only two returning players from last year's team. Although Alexander will be getting help from senior Stanley Vinny, who has returned from a year of absence. In a team looking to find their star, it will be interesting to see who steps up to help them grab their first win.
So the Spartans boys made a 180, but I hear the Lady Spartans did as well.
Yeah, Shane, last year these Spartans went 1-21, but this season it's been a completely different story. The main factor in this difference is that none of their former players graduated. Mix in star point guard Kaylee Hudnall and a few freshmen, and you have the winning formula. The Spartans are 8-5.
That's an incredible turnaround, but how did they do against Crooksville?
This game showed just how much Alexander has improved. Although the first quarter was dominated by turnovers, the Spartans caught the ball way too many times and kept the Ceramics in the game. The next 3 quarters, though, it was all Alexander. The Spartans were lethal from the paint on both sides of the floor. On offense, once through the press or grabbing a steal, they charged the paint to lay the ball in. Kaylee Hudnall led the charge with 21 points. On defense, McKenna Moore was locked in, blocking everyone in the paint. The Spartans took this one 51-36. Head coach Morgan Grinstead has been at the helm of this team's transformation. She talks about how it feels to turn the program around.
It feels really good. You know, it's nice to see that our work is paying off in the off season. We took this summer to really get better, and I think that we have, and hopefully it continues.
Shane, I'm certain that the Alexander Lady Spartans are a squad for other teams to look out for this season.
Yeah, I know that. I'm excited to see how far they go. Thanks for the great work, Maddie. Looking for some more TVC basketball? Head over to our Facebook and Twitter for game recaps and weekly updated conference standings. Instagram has you covered for highlights and action shots throughout the week. Need a good laugh? Head over to our TikTok. And for written content from every game, woub.org/heroes is the spot to go. The Nelsonville York Buckeyes headed to Gloucester riding a 6-game win streak. That stout Buckeyes defense has been rolling, but everything is harder during rivalry week against the Trimble Tomcats. I'm going to let Buckeyes lead reporter Donovan Varney take it away.
Thanks, Shane. Those that are able to catch this game on Tuesday night know that it was a good one. But for those that didn't, I wanted to break down some of the key factors that contributed to this double overtime madness. In order to paint the full picture, we've got to talk about the press. Trimble was in a full court press from the jump, and NY wasn't utilizing those press breakers. Swope was having a hard time getting up court and forced a lot of turnovers. Not only that, but Trimble was playing really good defense in the paint. Anytime NY tried to get anything inside, it was a block or a charge.
So they utilized the press and played some aggressive defense. What else contributed to such a tight contest?
One word, Shane: scrappiness. I mean, the stakes were high. It's a rivalry game in Gloucester. The crowd was packed, the fans were getting into it. The guys were on the floor diving and fighting for loose balls all night. There were no easy buckets either. If you wanted to drive into the paint, there was going to be a hard foul. You had to earn all of the points.
Ultimately, what was it that really made a difference by the time they got into double overtime?
In my opinion, Shane, it was momentum. You know what they say? Basketball is a game of drives and possession battles, and whoever wins the most wins the game. For example, NY had that first quarter lead, and they wouldn't see the lead again until the fourth quarter. They were even down 14 at one point. But Trimble was ultimately able to capitalize after Swope went down and had to leave the game in double overtime. The Buckeyes weren't able to bounce back, and the Tomcats won 70-65.
Speaking of Keegan Swope, I heard he hit an impressive milestone.
You must have heard right, Shane, because in the fourth quarter of Tuesday night's thriller, Swope got his name forever etched in the NY record books. Swope scored his 1,000th career point with the Buckeyes over his 4-year varsity career. The point guard finished the game with 27 points en route to a historic night in Gloucester.
So the boys fall short on the road. How did the girls fare at home?
The Lady Buckeyes were looking for some redemption after a tough loss at the hands of Warren at the beginning of the week. So they welcomed Vinton County into the house on Thursday in what was a brawl between two TVC Ohio teams looking to make a push. The first quarter was back and forth contest. Era Levy was hot, scoring 8 of the team's 11, but NY only finished the quarter with a 1-point lead. Into the second, both teams were able to catch fire, knocking down threes left and right, but it remained a close contest. The Lady Buckeyes were able to hold on up 3 points entering the half. Still, nobody's run away with this one yet, as we finished the third quarter with a tie game. But in the fourth is when things really got interesting. Vinton County hit 2 straight threes to open up the quarter, and the Lady Buckeyes just couldn't respond. The Vikings swiped the lead, outscoring Nelsonville York 17-7 in the final quarter, and left with a much-needed 53-43 conference win. A tough couple of losses for the Buckeyes last week, Shane, but if one thing's for sure, each game they're going to play into the final whistle.
Yeah, I mean, no question, these teams are tough to crack. Thanks for great work, Donovan. The Lady Buckeyes sat towards the middle of the TVC Ohio. How have things shifted, Tim?
Well, Shane, as you and Donovan both alluded to, the TVC Ohio is still anyone's taking. It's shaping up to be a 3-horse race as we saw the Athens Lady Bulldogs see their 2-game lead in the TVC Ohio shrink down to just 1 game this week, leaving leaving River Valley and Alexander within striking distance to take that crown. Nelsonville York is not out of it yet, sitting 2 games back. They will host the top-seeded Lady Bulldogs on Monday night in a critical conference match. Vinton County, Wellston, and Meigs round out the rest of the girls' standings. On the boys' side, this season has been a story of the haves and have-nots. Vinton County and Meigs sit atop the conference at 10-2, with the Vikings having a slight edge at 6-0 in TVC Ohio play. Despite the almost mirrored records, Athens remains in a tie for 3rd place with Nelsonville York with a 3-3 conference record. River Valley and Wellston sit in 5th and 6th respectively, and the Alexander Spartans are sitting in 7th, still looking for their first win of the season. And now that conference standings are out of the way, Shane, we still have one more order of business to get to.
That's right, and it's arguably the most important part, Heroes of the Week. Starting on the boys' side, we've got a star that shined in a close game that went to double overtime and even hit a career milestone. It's Nelsonville York's Keegan Swope. The NY offense runs through Swope, and he kept the Buckeyes in that wild game against the Tomcats. In a back-and-forth affair, Swope was a force on both sides of the ball, hitting shot after shot on offense, getting the ball out to teammates, while snagging the ball away on defense. Don't forget, he hit his 1,000th career point, etching his name into the NY record books. Swope had a standout game with 27 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals. Add on his 1,000th point, and you've got a guy that deserves to have the ball in his hands. This man is an absolute playmaker. And talk about a program guy. He was on the court all night long, only taking a break once the game got into double overtime, giving it your all to a whole new level. Where he goes, so do the Buckeyes.
Our girls' hero of the week gave us one of the most spectacular single-game performances we will probably see all year, Shane. This week's winner is none other than Waterford center Avery Wagner. The 6'4" junior has been an absolute terror for opposing defenses this season. And I mean, just look at that block right there. Go up, bang. She's been dominant on both ends of the floor her whole career and has really stepped up her game to a whole new level to this point in the season. Against South Gallia, Wagner had a 12-point double-double, and against crosstown rival Fort Fry, she put up 8, 8, and 3 with 6 blocks to go along with that. Other notable stats she's had this year: 14 and 11 against Trimble, 20 and 8 against Eastern. And this was the spectacular performance that I alluded to in the intro. In Tuesday night's game against Parkersburg South, she recorded 25 points and 25 rebounds. Holy smokes, that's a 1999 Shaquille O'Neal stat line if I've ever seen one. Also, don't forget she had 7 blocks and 5 assists. The 2023 All-State Honorable Mention is picking up right where she left off last year. Congratulations, Avery. So we've seen a lot of really good games this week. I know we had those weather cancellations, but I mean, we really did get some good games.
No, absolutely, and I'm really excited to see where these teams are once we get to where those games are rescheduled later in the year when we hit February.
Yeah, we've got a couple of really good ones, but that's all the ball we have for today. Throughout the week, make sure to check out our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram pages for all your TVC updates.
Thanks for watching, and as always, we're reminding you to be heroic.